Hello, everybody. Welcome back again to the Sternberg's New Way to Museum. We're back here at one of our favorite places, Defiance Brewing Company. I gotta even say it right, don't I? So, Defiance Brewing Company, we were here a little bit earlier and we got a chance to meet the guys and talk a little bit about how they brew beer. And that we were actually brewing with a beer called Gillicus Island, which was, we've tasted it now, fantastic. But we thought we'd come back and talk a little bit more about the whole brewing process. And specifically, we didn't get a chance to talk about how you guys can the beer or bottle it, or, what is it how do you choose between canning and bottling?
So when we made the decision to go with cans, oxygen and UV light are two factors that really diminish beer quality. So we're already ixnaying one of those factors out right away. Another big thing for us was shipment for distribution. A 12-ounce can of beer weighs much less than a 12-ounce bottle of beer. So weight is a big factor in shipment and costs and everything like that.
Especially when gas prices are
absolutely
$5 a gallon.
And that's a big reason you're seeing a lot of breweries opening up regional breweries like Sierra Nevada, opening one on the East Coast, just to kind of cut the distribution costs down. And that's why I see a lot of breweries in cans now compared to what it was, 10, 15 years ago.
Interesting. So can you walk us through the canning process?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. We have the Wild Goose canning system out of Boulder, Colorado. We get empty cans in, feeds it down a pallet, gets on the conveyor belt. The cans are then purged with CO2 from the bottom up. After that, we'll fill the beer up from the bottom up, or fill the cans up with beer from the bottom up, sorry. It'll go through, get a lid put on, go through the steamer, go through a little rinse dry tunnel, and then through our labeling machine, and then into a 6-pack, and then into your fridge.
A seamer, so it's really a seamless process.
Yeah, right.
No, and you're purging it with the CO2, so there's actually no just atmosphere air in the cans when the beer gets poured in.
So like I was saying, oxygen and light. So when we purge that can, CO2 is much denser than air, so it pretty much blankets that beer as the beer gets filled up, or the can gets filled up. So
nothing like a little carbon to make the oxygen dense. Very cool. Well, since you brought it up, distribution, how do you guys distribute all of your beer?
So we are with the Kansas Craft Alliance, KCA, and there are 13 Anheuser-Busch warehouses in the state of Kansas. Of those 13, we do business with 7. And then we also have a distributor on the Missouri side of Kansas City, North Kansas City Beverage. So as far as the distribution goes, being under that contract, we work with those distributors and we go out into the marketplace, distribute the beer. So if that kind of addresses exactly what you're looking at, I don't know, is there anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. We get orders in whenever they need beer, and we fulfill those orders and ship them out on a semi. And like Brett said, he kind of hits the market and showcases what we have coming out, in the next couple months. That way people kind of have an idea of where we're going and kind of what we're leaning towards as far as seasonal products.
So you definitely get outside of Hayes in Ellis County. Mm-hmm. Just how wide is your distribution network at this point?
So we're all throughout Kansas and then Kansas City, Missouri right now.
Kansas and Kansas City, Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
So it is still a Kansas beer.
Absolutely.
Until you get it to New York and California. And,
right.
Do you have major plans, or is it just organic? Is it your distribution will get wider, or do you want to stay focused in a certain area?
I think 2020 and 21 were really difficult on a lot of breweries, not just us, and a lot of businesses, not just the brewing industry. So we were able to kind of rebound from that. And with some creative maneuvers that was made by our organization, we were able to get myself out there in the marketplace to where I can influence. And so, basically last quarter was the first quarter that I was doing it full time. And so it's about building relationships with not only your distributor, but with the accounts that are selling your beer. So the product at the time, at the beginning of that quarter that I really wanted to push was the Gillicus Island. And so by the time that we were getting ready to can and package, we had about 16 barrels out of 20 barrels already pre-sold. So that was a huge goal. And by the time the week that we actually went to can and keg it, I think we had 4 or 6 barrels left for the tap room and the restaurant. So it performed very well in the marketplace.
And the beard is very important as an influencer when you're meeting with people.
It certainly can be. I mean, obviously, when you're pre-selling something that's still in the fermenter, it's hard to be able to get it out there.
Cool. So do you distribute it in beers in kegs as well as cans?
Yeah. So we'll do 12-ounce cans, and then we have 6 barrels. A 6th barrel, and then we also have half barrels that we'll keg off. So there's certain accounts that only want half barrels. There's certain accounts that only want 6 barrels. So.
Very cool. So you mentioned something about seasonal. Are most of your beers seasonal, all of them, or do you have some that you just make year round?
Well, I mean, we have our core products, brands like Twisted Logic, Kansan, 111. We're bringing a new one on, the Tiger Gold collab that we're doing with Fort Hays State. That'll be coming out next month. But no, every month we do come out with a new seasonal product. Usually we try to do a package seasonal, and then a draft seasonal, and kind of just rotate that throughout the year. And then obviously we have the tap room, so we got a lot of leeway to do beers only, for the tap room. We're also working with a few other people here in town to get them, specifically brewed beers for their establishment, just to kind of put a little more emphasis on how you were kind of asked earlier, distribution kind of going out. We're trying to be more hyper local, really, take care of where we're at first, and then, take care of the state of Kansas. But no, I mean, we try to push out as many new products as we can. That's definitely our job, and that's our goal.
I believe that we have 8 year-round beers, and then the calendar comes out, and basically every month we'll do a seasonal. So sometimes those seasonal will be like something that's only going to be available in kegs, and then every other month or so, it seems like we'll try to get something packaged, as well as being able to do cans too.
That's cool. So you have, just off the top of your head, you've done a lot of beers. Are there any of them that come to mind as being the ones that have been really the most popular, whether it's a personal favorite or ones that people have really responded to?
I think our best seller at this point is probably our Big Money.
Yeah, for sure. Big Money. Yep, that's always going to be it's always a good one. Twisted Logic's really good. That's our year-round IPA. Kind of depends on the market also. Like Kansan and our Amber Ale go over really well on the western side of Kansas. Our IPAs do as well, but more on the eastern side of the state. Definitely our IPAs and our heavier style beers definitely go over a lot better.
Has there ever been a seasonal beer that was just so darn popular that it became a year-round beer?
Big Money.
All right.
Yep.
All right, cool. So, you made Gillicus Island. Okay, so when you were thinking it up, how are the hops you're going to put in, the flavors you're going to put in, when then you got to taste it, did it come out the way you expected it to?
Yeah, I think so. I think what we were shooting for originally when we were when the first conversation came up about it, and then we got the name down, and we kind of got the conceptual artwork and everything kind of laid out. I personally think we hit it on the head. It seems like everybody that we've talked to has enjoyed it really well. It's gone over great here, and I know it's going over great in the market right now. So
you've gotten some good feedback on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very good feedback.
So people, has there been a corresponding trend and uptick in sales of flip-flops around the state as people get the island beer, a little more?
I had the opportunity to go to the Air Capital Bacon, Bourbon, and Beer Festival in Wichita. I believe that was on July 9th. And so House of Schwann's brought in the beers for me to be able to pour. So we had the Gillicus Island, we had Twisted Logic, and we had Sleepwalking, and then Spilled the Salt. I've got little, I don't know what you call them, but display cases that you can put your sales sheets in. But I also took Curtis's bulletin from his memorial service, and I was really surprised that there was probably 3 people that were at that event that knew Curtis.
Wow.
So, whether that's through what he was doing with the museum or whether it was doing the herping.
Right.
But it was. It's performed really well out in the market, and people seem to be very, very receptive to it. Obviously, there's some people that just don't like IPAs.
Right.
That's going to be a difficult one to overcome. But those that do like the IPAs, were really, really impressed with that, and got a lot of feedback of, "You're going to make that a year round?"
If you actually made it again, would it come out? When you do beer, would it come out the exact same way, or would you do something slightly different to it?
We'll probably do some limestone.
Yeah, right.
That one's for you, Curtis.
No, I think just like anything cooking for me, I always like to try new stuff every time. I mean, something can always be better. I mean, obviously, I really, really enjoyed how the beer turned out, but I would definitely tweak a little bit here and there just to make it even better. It's always trying to make beer better as you move on. Just trying to don't stay stagnant. Try to produce new things and use new techniques. And yeah, I think we could definitely see this beer coming out again for sure. And I'm excited about the future for it.
And we're definitely going to do another beer together, right?
Absolutely.
Gotta have another.
Well, just to kind of piggyback off of what he was saying, I think that, coming from an artist standpoint or a creative standpoint, that you tend to be your own worst critic. So, which is a good thing in this industry, because you want to get better. So, but yeah, I think we were really happy with the way that it turned out, and it's done well. So,
Very cool. Well, for all of you that are out, in Seattle and places, you may have to make a trip to Kansas to get a chance to tap into Gillicus Island. But we really appreciate all of you guys joining us again. We're glad to be back on a schedule, so we look forward to continuing to give you new opportunities of new ways to museum, and we will see you again next week.
Discovery under the dome.
That's brilliant. We had to get some singing. Thanks for joining us in A New Way to Museum with the Sternberg Museum of Natural History. If you enjoyed this video, like it and subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell for notifications when we release a new video. Support us on Patreon for early access and exclusive content. You can also follow us on all our social media. Links are found in the description. Thanks for watching, and follow your curiosity to new discoveries.